this new Q&A video. Oh, I'm shooting this one a little later than usual, so if I appear tired or whatever else, a bit groggy, it's because I've had quite a long day, but you know, I've got my things to think about and they've sent me in questions I'm willing to answer. I hope you didn't see the writing on that mug because I don't get paid for product placement. There's also a couple of announcements I'd like to make before I get into the questions. The first one is I would like to thank Ron Henderson for all of his hard work for the thumbnails he's done for me for all of my videos. Thank you very much. And I also thank you for starting up the PDKJim2386 Fan Page. I really wasn't expecting it this early on. Quite honestly, I didn't even think I was going to be getting a fan page. I know I'd like seeing questions and stuff coming in, you know, mentioning wrestling, games, movies and all of this stuff. You know, and it just really gets to me that, you know, I've had a fan page opened up in my name. You know, I thank all of you so much for doing this, you know, for me, and you know, this should make it easier to get more content to you guys, dependent, you know, entirely on what time I've got for videos and stuff. So, you know, thank you very much for doing that for me. And the second announcement that I'd like to make is that the music that you've just heard a minute or so ago is by a band called Silent Redemption. I've had their permission to use their music in my videos now on a permanent basis. So I would like to thank the guys for letting me use the music for the song in particular. There will be links in the description to their YouTube channel and to their Facebook fan page. So to you guys of Silent Redemption, thank you very much. I was still feeling a bit throaty from being ill as well, from like last week before. Oh, I feel absolutely terrible. So anyway, with that said, let's get the questions underway. Okay, first one comes from Gary in Greatbar. Hi Gary. Alright, he sent me a wrestling related question. Okay. And he says, which wrestlers do you think never reached the points they should have? Now, that is a very, very interesting question. I will try and answer this as fully as I can, but on a shortlist, well, I'll do shortlist and then I'll explain. The smallest that I got written down like in my mind were just like a couple of guys, but having really thought about it and really given it some time, I've came up with a couple of names, most of which people will agree with me, others they will not, but I will explain myself. The first one I've got right off the bat is Jerry Lynn when he was in WWF/WWE. Now, for those of you that know, the style that Jerry Lynn does is nothing short of, well, almost perfection, really. He's a world-class athlete. He tried doing it all in the WE, and they fired him for trying to be a wrestler and not being a superstar, which, as most of you may know, being with WWE history, that Joey Styles pretty much went along the same route when he quit WWE and then ECW just came about, and we all know how that ended. He said very much the same thing. When he was in ECW, it was just him doing commentary on the matches, none of this backstory crap that he was getting told to do in his ear, not being able to call the wrestlers and having to call them superstars. And if you know of the famous shoot, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, I'll put it in the description. So, so you'll get to see exactly what I'm on about. And Jerry Lynn was basically the same. He tried to wrestle, they weren't happy with it, and they got rid of him. Next up, I've got is Test. Needless to say, you all know of the late great Test. Great worker, but he just wasn't given the push he was supposed to have been given. He was a big guy. He was like about 6'10", 6'11". He was a tall guy. He was built like a brick shithouse. And, you know, he just didn't get a push. He didn't get a push that he truly deserved. And, you know, I just think it was a missed opportunity. Along with most of the other guys I've got down on the list as well, who had, you know, the potential. I mean, he was a great face. He was an excellent heel, especially with the Un-Americans when he was with Christian and Lance Storm. It was a great faction. Yet after it, they just, you know, threw him in a pair of trunks and said, you know, go out there and do whatever. When you got a big guy like that, you're supposed to push him. You're not supposed to just, you know, stay in the mid card or whatever. Just, you know, it was a missed opportunity, but unfortunately, it's too late now. So, again, Test being another one. Next up, I've got on my list is Vader when he was in the WWE and WF. Well, WWF, I should say. Now, most of you are probably thinking, why am I mentioning Vader? Let me kind of clue you in on something. He was affiliated with Jim Cornette, who, in my mind, is one of the best minds in the business. And being a manager, he's kind of done everything, been everywhere, and so on and so forth. And with all of the stories that I've heard from Jim Cornette about being with Vader, Vader really was held down, especially by Shawn Michaels. And I'm not even going to start going into it, but it was only until Vader had really left the WWF and went to Japan that I believe that, you know, he was able to shine in Japan. And, yeah, I just think, you know, if they'd given Vader, like, the WF title, because I think he may have won it once or twice, but I think if they'd just let him actually have the ball and run with it for a while, I think he could have been a bigger name than he could have been. So, you know, that's another one for me, is Vader. Now, I'm going to pick a country hero for us, again, another one who's passed away, unfortunately. And that's the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith. Now, for those of you who've been following the career of the British Bulldog, you would know that he started in the World of Sport days as young David. And if you'd seen him then, he was a skinny, pale kid. And, you know, he was obviously schooled in the arts. You know, God bless him. And, you know, as his career went along, you know, he got bigger, he got better, and then he was able to get more opportunities and whatnot. But the only real letdown for it is, for me, that, you know, in the WWE, he could have been, like I said about Vader and Test, he could have been much, much, much bigger than the point he'd actually got to. Because I know he'd won the European title at one point till he lost to Shawn Michaels. And doing it in, I think it was One Night Stand. I can't remember exactly where it was. Just to do it, you know, to have him lose the European title to Shawn Michaels in his home, like, you know, I think it could have been like billed as his hometown. I just think it was, you know, kind of shallow. But then the fact that he came back several years later, you know, as British Bulldog, and he was more, you know, he was actually playing the heel, and he was like the bad guy, and he was like an ultimate badass, because there was the point where it was at Rebellion in Birmingham. It was either the NEC or the NIA, and it was the whole incident where he was asking Vince for his title shot and stuff, and threw a metal trash can across the room, and it knocked Stephanie out, and then we know what kind of storyline that led into eventually. But I really think, you know, if he'd just been given the heavyweight title once or twice, you know, it could have made everybody happy. Because, you know, I think they're kind of living up from the past mistakes now. You know, we've given the title, like the world title to guys like Sheamus, and they've given a title or two to Wade Barrett as well. But, you know, for me, it's a little too late. So, and again, it's yet another missed opportunity. Now, the last two that I've got down on my list is, you know, I really could put one more over the other, but they're just both as equal in, you know, a proper missed opportunity, you know, and not being used to the fullest of potentials. So, the first one I've got is, as much as I hate the prick as it is, I'm choosing his brother because he was a much better wrestler and way more charismatic than he was, and that is Owen Hart. I remember at one point there was a match between Owen Hart and Bret Hart. I believe it was a lumberjack match, and it was for the title. At one point, they say Jim Neidhart came in, clubbed Bret Hart around the back of the head. Owen got the pin, and then he was going to be crowned world champion in WF. And, you know, that would have been great. But then, of course, the match gets changed around. Oh, let's look at the Titantron and see what actually happened. Because Owen was in the sharpshooter the last time I had my fucking eyes towards him. And then the match continues. Bret pins Owen, remains champion. And quite honestly, I can't think of another instance where that has actually happened in the WWE, where they've been told to look at the Titantron, look at a replay from a live event, may I point out, a live event where they've had to look up at the Titantron just to appease the whiny Canadian prick, just to fucking keep him on title. He should have dropped it to Owen. That would have been a great storyline. But of course, Bret, I need my title, I'm not being treated properly. Shut the fuck up. Because who I've got next who's more of a deserving champion than you ever were, Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. He never got the WWF Heavyweight Championship, as far as I'm aware. The highest I know that he got was the Intercontinental Championship. He did not get the WWF Championship. Why? I don't know. This is the biggest wasted opportunity in WWE history. They should have put a world title on him at least 10 times. The guy was perfect. He had the look. He had the moveset. He was perfect. And just, you know, if they, in all honesty, as much as I don't like the guy, if they would have pitted Mr. Perfect, Bret Hart, in a match for the title, let Mr. Perfect win, have the ball and run. That would have been phenomenal for business. People would remember that for years and years and years to come. But unfortunately, you know, it's come to the point again that it's a missed opportunity, and it just gives me a headache thinking about it. So, you know, again, he had the look, he had the charisma. When he eventually turned face against Bobby Heenan, I think it was, people were just losing their collective shit. And, you know, they should have given him the title, and yet again, another missed opportunity. So, you know, I really don't know why they didn't put the strap on him, but, you know, again, like I've said before about all the other guys, missed opportunity. Anyway, moving on. I've got a couple of got two questions here actually from Ron in King's Standing. Is that King's Standing? Yes, it is. And yeah, more wrestling questions. Okay. All right. Okay. What has he said? The top 5 wrestlers of all time. And the most influential, influential wrestler of, hang on, I've only just done this in short. Well, I'm trying to practice shorthand and stuff, so I'm just trying to figure out what it is that I've wrote. The first one is definitely top 5 wrestlers of all time, in your opinion. I'll get to that one in just a minute. And most influential wrestler on your career. Right, that was it. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. My top 5 wrestlers of all time. Right. I'm going to go on wrestling skill, charisma, and, you know, how I feel about them personally. I'm doing this in no particular order, so number 5, I'm going to say Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. Well, I don't know why I said Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle, but, you know, Kurt Angle. As you know, Olympic gold medalist, collegiate wrestler. You know, he's done WWE. He's done it WCW with the old Invasion angle. He did it the New School ECW. And then moved on to TNA, where he stayed. Along with a couple of stints in Japan as well. And, you know, as the guys mention him, he is like a machine. He's a cyborg. He really is that good. Number 2, the guy who I just touched on earlier, Mr. Perfect, Curt Hennig. Had the look, the moveset, he was just absolutely perfect. He was the peak of perfection. Moving on from that one, I'm going to go for a guy who was more indie-based, moved into TNA, built the company up. A phenomenal talent. Get the keyword there. And I'm going to choose AJ Styles. Needless to say, you know, he has committed so much to the business. He's sacrificed a lot for the business. There's been blood, sweat and tears. And for those of you who've seen his matches know exactly how true that statement is. Next up, well, my last 2, I'm going for big guys. Again, like I've mentioned earlier, I'm going to go with one of my favourite big guys who, I believe, like I said earlier, didn't get many opportunities that he should have, and I'm going to go with Vader. Having more recently seen most of his Bushido-style matches in Japan, I'll explain in just a minute. You know, he's moved, you know, back into, you know, being a favourite of mine. It's, you know, it's not like I've forgotten him. You know, he's kind of a big influence on my career, which is just kind of giving the spoiler away to the next question. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Vader is a big guy. He's, you know, I mean, for those of you that saw him on the 1000th episode of Raw, but a little bit before that, obviously, he had a match with Heath Slater, and the crowd were chanting, "You've still got it." And he still had, you know, 2 bum knees, a bad back, a, you know, big gut. I ain't going to mess with the guy. If he came over to the UK and he asked for a match with me, I would be fucking shitting myself. The guy can throw punches like no one I've ever seen. Now, I know just a minute or 2 ago I've mentioned Bushido-style matches in Japan. For those of you that know, he was in either All Japan or New Japan Pro Wrestling. I can't remember which. And he did some work for a promotion called UWF or UWFI, depending on, you know, how you go about it. And when it was being shown on some European TV sports channels, it was dubbed as Bushido, which is how I see it now, you know, UWFI Bushido, or, you know, Bushido Pro, or whichever. I'll put a link in the description of one of his matches in UWFI so you can see what it was like. And my last one is kind of a big guy, just about the same size as me, if not a little bit taller. I'm going to go with the current ROH World Champion. I'm going with Kevin Steen. Now, like I've said, I've been watching Steen matches for quite a while. Just some of the stuff that he can do is brilliant. Like big guys like him who can do moonsaults, like Vader. Yes, he can moonsault. And he did it in Japan. Of course, they wouldn't do it in WA, blah, blah, blah. I digress. I'm talking about Steen. You know, he's shown me a move. You know, he's shown the entire world a move that no one had ever seen. The package pile driver. Power bombs onto the apron. All these twisty, tie-you-uppy, breaky, necky, fucky moves. And, you know, it just kind of... How can you argue? It's Kevin fucking Steen. You know, he's had matches against guys like Davey Richards and Steve Corino. He's had like matches against some of the biggest names in the business, even feuding with Al Generico as well. That feud has been going on for years. If you go back, you know, you look at PWG, you look further back than that, you could probably go into the Indies. You know, it all came to a head, you know, at Ring of Honor. And, you know, until they went the separate ways. Kevin Steen is still on the Indies and wrestling in Ring of Honor. And Al Generico's now moving into WA eventually, once he gets the whole NXT crap out of the way. But, you know, my top 5 wrestlers of all time: Kurt Angle, Kurt Hennig, AJ Styles, Vader, and Kevin Steen. Now, moving on to the next question: most influential wrestlers in that influenced your career. Obviously, as you know, and you've been following me and watching my videos, is that you know, I am in the business. I'm not, you know, doing more ring work as it is now. But hopefully the opportunity will come around where, you know, I can get myself physically fit, because you know, I've got a bit of a gut on me, so I've got to get that off. And you know, yeah, just get the gut off, and then who knows, maybe I'll be back in the ring, and you know, I'll post a video up so you dudes can see what I'm capable of. Well, almost. But yeah, most influential wrestlers for me. Well, those that have influenced most of my career. Vader, who I've just mentioned. Kevin Steen, again, just another mention. And I do like big guys as well. So I'll toss Blue Meanie in there as well, because he's, you know, a big guy and he can do a moonsault. And I love Meanie because he's hilarious. The Blue World Order. Sweet. Mick Foley as well. That's probably what's influenced most of my recent, well, when I say recent, you know, all of my hardcore career, King of the Death matches and stuff. You know, you don't get a haggard forehead like mine, although it doesn't really look too haggard. But yeah, you can probably see a scar or two on there. Yeah, thanks, Foley. Oh, who else have I? You know, some of the Japanese start get the words out. Some of the more prominent, thank you, Japanese wrestlers as well. Toshiaki Kawada, stiff as fuck, and what's his name? The late great Mitsuharu Misawa. Misawa was one of the best in Japan. Unfortunately, passed away. Kawada, I think he's still kicking ass. The match that Misawa and Kawada had in 1994 was phenomenal. Probably one of the best matches I've ever seen. And, you know, out of the entire library of matches that I've seen, I would place that right in my top 3 matches of all time. And a more recent influence on my career, as I just mentioned earlier, UWFI, Bushido. There's a guy there who I'd seen, and you know, looking at it now, is Gary Albright. For those of you who've not heard of Gary Albright, he has done work in, again, either All Japan or New Japan Pro Wrestling, as well as the Bushido group. And he's had a couple of notable feuds there. And the guy is a pure wrestler. He's like 6'2", I think he is, and like 300 pounds, but he could throw any guy around like nobody's business. You can do belly to bellies and belly to backs, Germans, full Nelson suplexes, the lot. And he was really surprised to see him doing some of these against Vader. Needless to say, I was amazed. So, you know, he's one of the more recent influences on my career. Is Gary Albright. And the last one I'll probably throw out there, you know, the guy who was probably the main influence on getting me in the business and helping me out was Rockstar Spud. You know, I get told by family members not to mention him, but it's hard not to. You know, I went, like, one of the first few pro wrestling shows I went to go and see was at a local centre by me. And I didn't even know that he was a wrestler or that he'd trained to wrestle. And just to see him, I was just ecstatic, and just knowing that he'd kind of made it, you know, into wrestling. I was so proud for him then, but you look at it now, 10, 12, 14 years have gone by, and now he's in TNA. And, you know, if I'm going to be getting back into the ring, which I am planning on doing, and seeing that he's done that now, he's just really forcing me to want to step up my game and follow in his footsteps. But I'll be entirely honest, I know I'm probably never going to make it into TNA or one of the big companies, but if I ever make it overseas, you know, it's all thanks to that guy for making me want to elevate my game and push myself forward, and, you know, really dig in and, you know, knuckle down and, you know, follow my dreams and, you know, whoop ass. Who would have thought this was just question 3 and we're already, what, nearly half an hour in? Awesome. I hope most of you are still sat there. Alright, question 4. This is from David in Longbridge. Wow. Okay. 5 from TNA WWE, just want it quick. Extended Q&A video because I'm on a partnership channel and you want me to be quick. Well, I do suppose I've been going on for a bit too long. Alright, my favourite 5 in TNA. Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Rockstar Spud, and Bully Ray. WWE, I will go for CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, you know who I mean, Antonio Sestro, hometown hero William Regal, even though I'm not from Blackpool, like I care, and Chris Jericho, we'll go for. Right, this next question is from Anonymous. Oh, well, thank you for giving away your name. Iron Man 3, are you looking forward to it? I saw the trailer, I had a joygasm, link is in the description, all is need to be said, just watch it for yourself. Okay, this film, what? Don't be stupid, Jim. This question is from Robert, and he is from, where are you from? You haven't said. Okay. What film releases are you looking forward to this year? Good question. Looking forward to Iron Man 3. I've got myself a... I'm going to go quite far ahead, then we'll just see where it goes. But I think, you know, I'll be looking at some into 2014 as well. Yeah, Iron Man 3. Jack the Giant Slayer. I'm looking forward to seeing that because it's like a different take on it. I would have liked to have seen Snow White and the Huntsman, but then it had Kristen Stewart in it. You know. I love sparkly vampires. Don't show no emotion. Good God, I'm so happy. This is me smiling. Anyway, Oz the Great and Powerful, again, is another take on a classic film, and you know, it just looks interesting. It just looks a little bit out there, and you know, I'm up for anything, bar me. A film that I've seen the trailer for recently looks pretty interesting. It's like a take on a horror film. Is the Frankenstein Theory. For those of you that don't know of it, I'll try and get a link in the description for you as well. Thor 2, looking forward to seeing that when it comes out. Captain America 2, Winter Warrior, looking forward to seeing that. Avengers 2, same again, going a couple of years forward maybe. Justice League, looking forward to seeing that when it comes out as well. The new Superman film, and see what that's like when it comes out, because I do like my superhero movies. Good Day to Die Hard. Big fan of the Die Hard series, so getting to see that as well will be pretty good. Hansel and Gretel. The Witch Hunter ones. Again, looks like something I'll probably enjoy. I've lost where I am. The new Wolverine film. Looking forward to seeing that. Oh, no, hang on. Yeah, the new Wolverine film. Sorry, I just thought I'd skip down the list somewhere. And trailer again, another trailer that I've seen recently. A film called Dead Man Down. It's got the guy who played the original James Rhodes in Iron Man, and he's playing a bad guy this time around. So it's also got Colin Farrell in it as well. It looks like your typical revenge action film, but it looks pretty decent. Again, try and get a link in the description. Yeah, so there we go. Right, okay, last question I've got here. Yes, I can hear you all breathing. Come on, hurry up, Jim, I'll need your drink. Just press pause, that's why it's there. So, last question I've got is from Barry in London. Okay. Barry in London, your question is, what games are you looking forward to? With the release of the PS4 as well, I think I can throw a couple in here. I'm not sure which platform this is coming out on, but Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. If you ask me, it's come out a little bit too soon after Assassin's Creed 3, but seems as the mines haven't completely blown us up. I think Black Flag is going to be more of like an expansion on Assassin's Creed 3, because it's all pirates and stuff, and I think because given the whole trying to get it all out before the apocalyptic date, trying to get it all out before that time, they just had to throw it into another game, which I think is what Black Flag is going to be. But I digress. Kind of looking forward to it, so we'll just see what happens. Going for... Oh, yes, Deadpool. If you've not seen the trailer for it, link is in the mofo description, biatches. If you have not seen, again, a trailer or knew about the Deadpool game coming out, it's basically, again, put around Deadpool. So, I'm looking forward to it. They've said, it's immature but awesome. And that's kind of what I like as well. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Moving on to PS4 games. I believe I've already mentioned some. Looking forward to Watch Dogs. That looks awesome. Destiny, I'm looking forward to that as well. That looks pretty interesting. And one that I'd missed out on the last video was Infamous, the Second Son. They're moving away from Cole McGrath in this one, but I'm not entirely sure what character entirely they're using, but, you know, it looks interesting. So, yeah, that is basically it. You know, we got through the questions and, you know, there we go. Oh. You know, the fact that I've got to do all of this in one take is kind of exhausting, because, you know, I'll make one mistake, I've got to redo it, but, oh, I'm so glad that I got through it all. Okay, so, thank you for sending in your questions. I'm always willing to answer your questions, and I will do a video just around your questions. Because, you know, I feel like if you send me questions, it's important enough to do a video for you, so, you know, why the hell not? You send them in, I'll answer. Hopefully you'll enjoy my answers as well. Right, so that's all of the questions done. I'll leave all the links in the descriptions. I may as well announce right now, I'm going to be bringing some video game reviews to you. I've got to try and get some capture footage for the games in question. But I might just need to rip some stock footage off YouTube, which I'm not entirely happy about. But, yeah. I went round to a mate of mine, his house. Not in a dirty way. And he said, you know, I've got these games, you want to review them? And I was like, oh, well, yeah, okay. I was only expecting to review one of them. But he said, oh, I've also got this as well, because you like this game, don't you? I was like, well, yeah. He's like, oh, DLC's coming out for it. All right, cool. So I'll review that as well. So the reviews I've got coming to you is going to be the new Tomb Raider reboot that's come out. And it's the Survival Edition that I'm going to be reviewing. And the other review is going to be Sniper Elite V2 Nazi Zombie Army DLC. And these are both PC editions. So... And I wasn't playing them at the time, because obviously if you're sitting in the chair doing the whole WASD style bitches. Why the hell did I just do that? I don't know. Yeah, so I'll be getting my reviews out of those soon. Hopefully not long after this video. And again, you know, that's it. That's it for this video. Like, subscribe, share, enjoy, masticate to your heart's content. And you guys still need a name. I've got to get you guys a name somehow. You know, send me suggestions. I did actually get 2 suggestions, which was PD Kids and Cockbags. Yeah. Alright, anyway, Cockbags. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we got to come up with a name for you guys, because I just can't keep calling you guys or fans, because, you know, it seems to be... You know, just want to be more of, you know, formal with you, so, you know, we'll just see what we can work out. And, yeah, let's play out with some music. Let's play out with Silent Redemption. Oh, Jesus, you have come. No, anyway. This is PDKJim2386. It's been a pleasure, and I am out.